Welcome to the Histories of Northamptonshire podcast series, and this episode number 64. Recorded on location, each episode tells the story of one of the many and varied objects which are the focus of the exhibition A History of Northamptonshire in 100 Objects. The exhibition runs at the Northampton Museum and Art Gallery between the 20th of September 2025 and February 2026. Selected by local individuals, heritage groups and the museum's own curators, each object tells a different story from the county's past. And so, to our guest for this episode.
David Milner. I'm the curator of the heritage exhibition at Fuller Baptist Church in Kettering. That's about the beginning of nonconformity, and then the BMS Mission Society formed, 1792, and especially William Knibb, famous son of Kettering.
Very often talked about as well.
Yes.
All right, conformity or otherwise. What are we talking about in terms of an object in the exhibition?
It's a lovely wooden box that the freed slaves in Jamaica gave to William Knibb after their freedom that he'd done so much to fight for. They made this box. It was beautifully inlaid wood, and Knibb used it as a desk and gave it to a friend then before he died. Eventually found its way back to this country.
What about the craftsmanship and the working of the box itself?
It's different Jamaican woods made an inlay, and it's beautifully done.
What sort of work would have been required to produce it?
Well, it's quite surprising, really. Quite skilled craftsmanship in able to make inlaid wooden things.
And for those people that don't know William Knibb, how did William Knibb become associated with slavery?
Well, he went to replace his brother, a missionary in Jamaica. So he arrived here appalled by the conditions of the slaves, the way they were treated. Although the BMS had asked him not to get too involved in politics and upsetting the planters, he said he couldn't keep quiet, he couldn't speak out against this atrocity.
When would this box have dated from, David?
Well, sometime after 1838.
Why do we know that?
Well, because that was final freedom of the slaves, 1838.
Can you tell me something about that community then that would have produced this item?
We don't really know because there were thousands of them, and Knibb actually and his wife raised money, 19,000 I think of them, to buy a freehold bit, so they had a bit of land of their own and a cottage that Knibb had. Obviously some of them were some very skilled craftsmen.
Would this have been something that the freed slaves had been making whilst enslaved, or is this after the era of slavery?
I really don't know. We don't know. They must have had skills that they'd either learnt or been taught in some way.
Do we have any documentation or any knowledge about how the box came to be made in the first place? Was it commissioned?
We really don't know, I'm afraid. I'd like to know more, actually, but we're sure it is genuinely Knibb's box.
We have the box in front of us. You say it's a piece of craftsmanship. Some people might be slightly surprised by the term craftsmanship when you're talking about slave labour. William Knibb, of course, has his place in history regarding slavery and the ending of slavery. Where would those skills have come from for the artisans who made this particular box?
Well, either brought traditions with them from Africa, and their family skills, and some of them would have that, and they probably learnt things while they're, especially the remaining years of apprenticeship when they're finally freed.
So do we know that this box was made in Africa and then came imported?
No, I think it was made in Jamaica.
It was made in Jamaica?
I think so, yes.
Right, so made in Jamaica and then brought to the UK.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, there's a Knibb object they brought back to this country as a souvenir, really, and to talk about the work he'd done with a great difficulty, really. He went as a teacher when he was only a young man, newlywed, and his wife, Mary, his brother having died there in Jamaica, he said, I'll go and take his place. And his children born there. One of them died in Kettering when he came back here for vacation and is buried at Fuller Baptist Church. There's a famous picture of him speaking in Kettering at the Jubilee meeting at the BMS, 1842, when thousands gathered in Kettering. They're already proud of William Carey, of course, the famous son of Northamptonshire. And BMS formed in Kettering in 1792 in the Mission House with the support of the Gotch family and the Wallace family, famous citizens of Kettering.
There's a great number of Northamptonshire names that you have just listed for me there, David. The box that is connected to one of those names, William Knibb, made in Jamaica by freed slaves. How did the box come into William Knibb's possession?
It came to Knibb's possession because the freed slaves presented it to him as a gift, a thank you to him for all he'd done for them over the years.
So for you, what is the significance of this item and why have you put it into the exhibition?
Well, it shows the remarkable contribution this Kettering man made to the great movement of abolition and reminder of gratitude of the freed slaves.
And David, what does this box say for Northamptonshire, given as it was by freed slaves from slavery, thanks to the influence of one William Knibb?
I think it's a reminder of the working out of Christian faith for the whole of society, not just individual, personal salvation, as it were.
Do you have a personal feeling about the box?
Yeah, I think it's good to be able to handle something that's a great man has handled and used as a writing desk.
And were any items found inside the box from the days of William Knibb?
No, but we have from other various means his rocking chair and his spectacles. And we've got some bits from the William Knibb Memorial Church in Falmouth, Jamaica, a little suburb of which is called Kettering. So it's good to have this connection with them.
But an item that he received as a gift and an item that he used on a day-to-day basis, which is now what we have in the exhibition.
Well, it's just found this physical connection with him, really. It's quite thrilling to think he actually used this.
David, it's lovely to hear from you. Thank you for telling the story. Thank you for listening to this Histories of Northamptonshire podcast. If you would like to find out more about the objects or listen to other episodes in the series, go to www.northamptonmuseums.com. Alternatively, you can visit the Northampton Museum and Art Gallery, where you can see the A History of Northamptonshire in 100 Objects exhibition for yourself. The Histories of Northamptonshire project is funded by Arts Council England as part of the National Portfolio Programme.